children. We believed adulthood was a country no one could be lost in. The grown-ups always seemed to know where everything belonged. They knew which cabinet held the medicine, how to stretch a week's worth of groceries into two, which rattled beneath the hood meant another repair they couldn't afford. How to smile across the dinner table while quietly swallowing fears no child should ever have to carry. To us, they looked unbreakable. What we never saw was how carefully they hid the cracks. Years later we would discover that the strongest people are often the ones who become experts at pretending they need nothing. Our parents never said they needed us. Instead they became fluent in another language. Go build a life, don't worry about us. You don't have to call every day. Each sentence sounded like permission. Each one was, in truth, an act of love wrapped around loneliness. Because every evening long after darkness settled across the yard, the porch light still burned. Not because anyone was expected, because hope has a habit of keeping one small light alive. Every holiday our mother prepared enough food for voices she already suspected would be missing. She measured recipes by memories instead of people. Every empty chair was set anyway. Every untouched plate carried its own quiet conversation. Our father never admitted he waited for the phone, but whenever it rang, he reached for it before the second ring, and pretended he had simply been passing by. There are kinds of waiting so ordinary they disappear into routine, until one day you realize someone built entire years around hoping to hear your voice. They never needed us to rescue them. They never wanted us to sacrifice our futures. They had spent decades making sure our world would become larger than theirs. Why would they suddenly ask us to shrink it? What they wanted could never be bought. They wanted at a distance. The love they poured into us had not evaporated once we crossed the borders of adulthood. That's somewhere inside our crowded calendars. Impossible schedules, growing careers, mortgages, airports, birthdays, deadlines, and responsibilities. There was still a road leading home, but they never asked. Because they remembered parents who confused love with ownership, hands that held too tightly, words sharpened into obligations. After everything we've done for you, you've forgotten where you came from. You think you're better now. Love, when tied to debt, stops feeling like love. They knew that, so they made themselves another promise. Our children will never feel guilty for becoming who we raised them to be. And they kept it painfully instead of saying, please don't go. They folded our clothes into cardboard boxes instead of saying, we're terrified this house will become too quiet. They carried furniture down narrow staircases and joked about how strong we'd become, instead of saying we still wanna matter. They stood at the end of the driveway waving until our taillights disappeared beyond the bend. And they walked back into homes that suddenly echoed. We misunderstood their generosity because they never demanded our presence. We assumed they no longer missed it because they gave us freedom. We mistook it for emotional distance. Life rewarded that misunderstanding. Years became promotions, conversations became text messages, birthdays became mailed gifts, phone calls became I only have a minute. One visit postponed became another and another, without ever making a decision to drift apart. We drifted. Distance rarely arrives like a storm. It arrives like dust, one unnoticed layer at a time, until familiar things no longer look familiar. Then came a winter morning, the call none of us expected. Our father had slipped while clearing snow from the front steps. Nothing life-threatening, nothing dramatic, just enough for us to drive home. It was only when we stepped inside that we understood the real injury had never been the fall. The house felt full, not of people, of waiting. Two chairs still faced the front window, as though conversations had only stepped outside for a moment. Family photographs climbed every hallway, not because our parents were trapped in the past, but because photographs had become the only way everyone still fit under one roof. The clocks ticked louder than we remembered. The silence carried weight. Our mother smiled the way mothers do when they don't want their children to mistake sadness for accusation. Then she said quietly, "We never wanted you to feel tied here." No one answered. Our father kept looking at his hands. After a long while, he finally spoke. "We just hoped." His voice stopped. He swallowed. "That you'd come back because you wanted to." Nothing else needed saying. That single sentence unlocked years of misunderstanding.